Good morning to all. In the last classes we discussed about the oscillators. Okay, oscillators and Barkhausen criteria. Okay, in the oscillators are two types: LC oscillators and RC oscillators. In the RC oscillators, RC phase shift oscillator and Wien-Bridge oscillator. Okay, RC phase shift oscillator is over, and the next one Wien-Bridge oscillator. Generally, an oscillator amplifier stages introduces 180 degrees phase shift. Okay, in the amplifier stage introduce the 180 degrees phase shift, and feedback network introduces the additional 180 degrees phase shift. So totally 360 degrees to obtain the phase shift of 360 degrees. Generally any oscillator, RC phase shift oscillator or Wien-Bridge oscillator, amplifier introduces 180 degrees and feedback network introduces additional 180 degrees to obtain the total phase shift of 360 degrees or 2 pi radians. This is the required condition for any oscillator. But Wien-Bridge oscillator uses a non-inverting amplifier. Okay. In Wien-Bridge oscillator, we introduces the non-inverting amplifier and hence does not provide any phase shift during the amplifier stage. So total phase shift required is 0 degrees or 2 pi radians. In Wien-Bridge type, no phase shift is necessary through feedback. Thus the total phase shift around the loop is 0 degrees. Okay. The output of the amplifier is applied between the terminals 1 and 3. Okay. In the 4 terminals 1, 2, 3 and 4 terminals. Okay. It has in bridge type. So this is the Wien-Bridge oscillator. In this, the output of the amplifier is applied between the terminals 1 and 3. Okay, output is applied. Amplifier stage output is applied to the 1 and 3, which is the input to the feedback network. Okay, so this is the input to the feedback network 1 and 3. So this is the feedback. While the amplifier input is supplied from the diagonal terminals 2 and 4. These 2 and 4 are the input terminals. Amplifier stage input terminals. So in amplifier stage input terminals are 2 and 4 and amplifier output terminals are 1 and 3. So which is the output from the feedback network. Thus the amplifier supplied its own input through the Wien-Bridge as a feedback network. Okay. The two arms of the bridge, namely R1, C1 in series and R2, C2 in parallel, are called the frequency sensitive arms. In this, R1, C1 is the series and R2, C2 are the parallel, are called the frequency sensitive arms. This is because the components of these two arms decide the frequency of the oscillator. Let us find out the gain of the feedback network. As seen earlier, V input to the feedback network is between the 1 and 3. V input ante input voltage. So input voltage to the feedback network is between 1 and 3. And output of the feedback network is between the 2 and 4. So such a feedback network is called the lead lag network. Okay, lead and lag network. feedback network is called the lead-lag network. This is because at very low frequencies it acts like a lead, while at very high frequencies it acts as a lag. Very low frequencies it acts as lead, very high frequencies it acts as lag network. Okay, this is the Wien-Bridge oscillator. In this, Z1 equal to, normally Z1 equal to, this is the Z1. So, Z1 equal to R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. R1 series with the C1. So, R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. That is equal to 1 by j omega R1 C1 by j omega C1. That is the Z1. Okay. And the Z2 is Z2 equal to R2 parallel with the C2. That means R2 parallel with 1 by j omega C2. So that is equal to parallel. We take the LCM. So R2 into 1 by j omega C2 by R2 plus 1 by j omega C2. Finally Z2 equal to, we take the LCM. So Z2 equal to R2 by 1 by j omega R2 C2. That is the Z2. And the frequency of oscillations is given by F equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of R1 R2 C1 C2. This is a very important. Frequency of oscillations is given by, so F equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of R1 R2 C1 C2. Okay. So R1 equal to R2, that is the R, and C1 equal to C2, that is the C. So finally frequency equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of R square C square. Okay. This is the Wien-Bridge oscillator. And the next one, Hartley oscillator. So RC oscillators are two types. So RC oscillators are RC phase shift oscillator and Wien-Bridge oscillator. And LC oscillators are Colpitts oscillators, clamp oscillators, Hartley oscillators, so on so. Okay. So RC phase shift oscillators are over. So comparison of the RC phase shift and Wien-Bridge oscillators are, in the phase shift, RC phase shift oscillator, it is a phase shift oscillator used for low frequency range. RC phase shift oscillator is low frequency range. And Wien-Bridge oscillator is phase shift oscillator used for low frequency range. Both are low frequency range. In RC phase shift oscillator, the feedback network is RC network with 3 RC sections. The feedback network is RC network with 3 RC sections. Okay. Each one is 180 degrees. So totally 180 into 3, totally 360 degrees. And Wien-Bridge oscillator, the feedback network is lead-lag network, which is called the Wien-Bridge circuit. The feedback network is lead-lag network in Wien-Bridge oscillator, which is called the Wien-Bridge circuit. In RC phase shift oscillator, the feedback network introduces 180 degrees phase shift. Okay. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the feedback network does not introduce any phase shift. In RC phase shift oscillator, the op amp is used in an inverting mode. Okay. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the op-amp is used in non-inverting mode. In the RC phase shift oscillator, op-amp is used in inverting mode. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the op-amp is used in non-inverting mode. In the RC phase shift oscillator, the op-amp introduces 180 degrees phase shift. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the op-amp's circuit does not introduce any phase shift. In RC phase shift oscillator, the frequency of oscillations is, so frequency equal to 1 by 2 pi RC square root of 6. Okay. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the frequency of oscillations is F equal to 1 by 2 pi RC. And the next one, RC phase shift oscillator, the amplifier gain condition is, so amplifier gain is denoted as A. So A is greater than or equal to 29. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the amplifier gain condition is A is greater than or equal to 3. In the RC phase shift oscillator, the frequency variation is difficult. In the Wien-Bridge oscillator, the mounting the two capacitors on common shaft and varying their values, frequency can be varied. So, this is the comparison of the RC phase shift oscillator and Wien-Bridge oscillator. Okay. And the next one, RC oscillators. In the RC oscillators, Hartley oscillator and Colpitts oscillators and clamp oscillators. First of all, we discussed in the Hartley oscillator. Okay. So, Hartley oscillator is the LC oscillators. LC means inductance and capacitance. So, LC oscillator which uses the two inductive reactances. That means this is the tank circuit. In this uses two LC combinations. Okay, two inductive reactances and one capacitance. Totally this is the tank circuit. One capacitive reactance. So, in its feedback network is called the Hartley oscillator. This is the transistorized Hartley oscillator. So, amplifier introduces the 180 degrees phase shift and tank circuit produces the another phase shift of 180 degrees. So, totally 360 degrees phase shift. Okay. So, this is the tank circuit. Two inductive reactances are in series in parallel with the capacitance. This is the tank circuit R1, R2, and this is the CE configuration, common emitter configuration, RE, okay, RFC. So, supply VCC supply and the two capacitances. Totally 360 degrees phase shift. This is the RFC, radio frequency choke. Okay. In the resistances, R1 and R2 are the biasing resistance. These two R1 and R2 are the biasing resistances. And the RFC is this is the RFC. So, RFC is the radio frequency choke. Its reactance value is very high for high frequencies. This value is very high for high values. Hence, it can be treated as the open circuit. While for DC conditions, the reactance is 0. Hence, causes no problem for DC capacitors. So, hence, due to RFC, radio frequency choke, the isolation between AC and DC operation is achieved. Okay. So, RE is also a biasing circuit. So Re is the biasing circuit resistance and Ce is the emitter bypass capacitor. This is the emitter bypass capacitor and Re is the biasing circuit resistances. RFC is the radio frequency choke. This value is high for high frequencies. These R1 R2 are the biasing resistances. Okay, and CC1 and CC2 are the coupling capacitors. These two are the coupling capacitors, CC1 and CC2. So the common emitter amplifier introduces the phase shift of 180 degrees. This amplifier section, it produces the 180 degrees phase shift as emitter is grounded. So in this Re is grounded. The base and the collector voltages are in out of phase by 180 degrees. As the center of L1 and L2 are grounded, the upper end becomes positive. This is the positive and the lower becomes the negative. So and vice versa. So the LC feedback network gives an additional phase shift of 180 degrees. So necessary to satisfy the oscillation conditions. So finally, amplifier introduces the 180 degrees phase shift and tank circuit produces the 180 degrees phase shift. Okay, totally 360 degrees. This is the transistorized Hartley oscillator. So in this CE configuration is used. So emitter is common between input and output, and R1 R2 are the biasing resistors and RFC is the radio frequency choke. Okay, and Re is the biasing circuit resistance and Ce is the emitter bypass capacitors. These two are the CC1 and CC2 are the coupling capacitors and this is the tank circuit. L1 and L2 reactances are in parallel, in series and parallel with the capacitance. So this is the tank circuit. So in the frequency of oscillations are obtained by, so F equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of C into L1 plus L2. Two reactances, two inductive reactances that are L1 and L2. Okay. So capacitance is parallel. So C into L1 plus L2. In the Hartley oscillator, frequency of oscillations are obtained by, so F equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of C into L1 plus L2 and F equal to simply 1 by 2 pi square root of C into L equivalent. L equivalent equal to L1 plus L2. So this is the Hartley oscillator. And the next one, Colpitts oscillator. This is the Colpitts oscillator. Okay. So in this Colpitts oscillator, same as in Hartley oscillator, this is the LC oscillators, high frequency oscillators. So this is the transistorized Colpitts oscillator. It has the amplifier, CA amplifier. So a amplifier introduces the 180 degrees phase shift and the tank circuit produces the further 180 degrees phase shift, totally 360 degrees phase shift. This is the output waveform. These two are the biasing resistances. RFC is the radio frequency choke. Okay, CC1 and CC2 are the coupling capacitors. So in this Colpitts oscillator, in LC oscillator, which uses two capacitive reactances and one inductive reactance in the feedback network, that is the tank circuit, is called the Colpitts oscillators. In the Hartley oscillators, we uses the tank circuit. In this tank circuit, we take the two inductive reactances are in series in parallel with the capacitance. So in this Colpitts oscillators, we are taking two capacitances. These two are in series, that is the parallel with the inductance. This is the difference between the Colpitts oscillator and Hartley oscillator. Okay. So in this, the amplifier stage uses an active device as in transistor in common emitter configuration. Okay. The basic circuit is same as the transistorizer Hartley oscillator except the tank circuit. The common emitter amplifier causes a phase shift of 180 degrees while the tank circuit adds further 180 degrees phase shift to satisfy the oscillating conditions. Okay, so totally 360 degrees phase shift. So in this frequency of oscillations in the Colpitts oscillators are obtained by f equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of L into C equivalent. In the Hartley oscillator, frequency of oscillations f equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of C into L equivalent. Okay. In this L equivalent equal to L1 plus L2. This is the Hartley oscillator. In Colpitts oscillator, f equal to 1 by 2 pi L into C equivalent, where C equivalent equal to C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. So in this crystal oscillator, and the next one, this is the Colpitts oscillator. Okay, and the next one, crystal oscillator. This is the crystal oscillator. Crystal oscillator is also called the very stability oscillator. It has the very stability. In the crystals are either naturally occurring or manufactured, establishing the piezoelectric effect. Okay. The piezoelectric effect means under the influence of the mechanical pressure, the voltage gets generated across the opposite faces of the crystal. Suppose if the mechanical force is applied in such way to force the crystal to the vibrate, and the AC voltage gets generated across it. So if the crystal is subjected to AC voltage, it vibrates, causing the mechanical distortion in the crystal shape. So every crystal has its own resonating frequency depending on its cut. So under the influence of the mechanical vibrations, the crystal generates an electrical signal of very constant frequency. The crystal has greater stability in holding the constant frequency. So a crystal oscillator is basically a tuned circuit oscillator using a piezoelectric crystal in its resonant tank circuit. So the crystal oscillators preferred when greater frequency stability is required. So in the crystals are used in watches, communication transmitters and receivers. In the crystals are used in watches and communication transmitters and receiver circuits. Okay. So in this, quartz is the comprise between the piezoelectric activity and Rachel salts and the strength of the tourmaline. Quartz is expensive, so and is easily available in nature and hence very commonly used in crystal oscillators. Okay, this is the crystal oscillators. The symbolic representation of such a practical crystal. This is the practical crystal. Natural shape of the quartz crystal is a hexagonal prism. But for its practical use, it is cut for the rectangular slab. The slab is mounted between the two metal plates. Okay. The metal plates are called the holding plates as very hold the crystal slab in between them. Holding plates, crystal slab. And this is the equivalent circuit of the crystal. So crystal is not vibrating. It is equivalent to the capacitance due to the mechanical mounting of the crystal. Such a capacitance existing due to the two metal plates separated by the dielectric like crystal slab is called the mounting capacitance, denoted as Cm. This is the mounting capacitance. So Cm or C. When it's vibrating, there are internal frictional losses which are denoted as R. This is the R. Mass of the crystal, which is indication of its interior, as represented an inductance L. In a vibrating condition, it is having some stiffness which is represented by the capacitor C. The mounting capacitance in a shunt capacitance. So, and hence the overall equivalent circuit of the crystal. This is the overall crystal. Equivalent circuit of the crystal R, L and C. The RLC forms a resonant circuit. The expression for the resonating frequency Fr. So, Fr equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of LC. Okay. So, in the crystal oscillator, the frequency of oscillation Fr equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of LC. So, have a very high frequencies. The thickness of the crystal should be very small, but it makes the crystal mechanically weak and hence it may get damaged under the vibrations. Hence, practically crystal oscillators are used up to 200 or 300 kHz. The crystal has two resonating frequencies, series resonating frequency and parallel resonating frequency. Okay, that is the crystal oscillators. And in this crystal oscillators, two types, precise crystal oscillators and Miller crystal oscillator. Okay, this is the circuit diagrams. Okay, so LC oscillators and RC oscillators are over, and in next class we discussed about the derivations. Okay.